How to write an introduction. There are guidelines for writing introductory paragraphs. The first paragraph in an essay is called the introductory paragraph. There are two purposes of the introductory paragraph: to get the reader's attention and to introduce them to the subject of your essay. In other words, you need to lead your readers to the subject of the essay in an interesting way and convince them that reading your essay will be worth their time. There are several guidelines for writing a good introductory paragraph. The first one is it must be relevant to the topic. That is, it shouldn't introduce material not covered in the essay. The second guideline is it shouldn't give detailed information about the main ideas of the essay. Detailed information belongs in the body paragraphs. The third guideline is there should be at least 2 sentences before the thesis statement. The thesis statement should come at the end of the introductory paragraph. Now let's talk about the types of introductory paragraphs. There are many ways for a writer to get the reader's attention in an introductory paragraph. 3 of the most common ways are discussed here. In your essays, try to develop the skill of writing different types of introductions, so your essays do not become too predictable. The first introductory paragraph is general to specific. This is perhaps the most common type of introduction. It begins with a general statement of the larger topic, and then each sentence narrows it down until you get to the specific thesis statement. The second introductory paragraph is anecdote. An anecdote is a brief story that illustrates your topic. In a personal anecdote, you tell a story about your own experiences that are relevant to the thesis. In a third-person anecdote, you tell a story about someone else. You can base your story on a real person, or you can make it up. The third one is a historical introductory paragraph. You may also choose to write a brief story introduction to your essay. Since this is just an introduction to the essay, you don't need to give detailed historical account, just an overview. All right, let's take examples. We will have one thesis statement, and this thesis statement going to introduce to different 4 ways of introductions. We have 4 different examples of introductions, and our job is to find the type of introductory paragraph. So this is the thesis statement. Success depends more on hard work than on innate ability. Let's take the first example, which is general to specific. So I'm going to say an introduction, and this is an example of the general to specific introduction. All right, let's begin. All human beings want to feel successful, but we are not born with the same abilities. However, we all have the ability to learn. By working hard at learning something, all of us can master it to a certain extent. Even the most famous artists say that practice is more important than their native talent. So the thesis statement will be success depends more on hard work than on innate ability. Let's take the second example. This is the anecdote introduction. Some people seem to learn languages almost without effort. My cousin Liz, on the other hand, struggles with Italian all through high school. She never gave up, however. After high school, she had a chance to become a flight attendant. But one job requirement was that she had to speak a foreign language. In her determination, she borrowed money from her parent and went to Italy for a year to study at a language school. She says it was the hardest thing she had ever done, but she did it. In fact, when I visited her in Rome last year, she had become completely fluent, had a great job in the Italian airline, and loved her life. Liz's story shows that success depends more on hard work than on innate ability. Now let's go to the third example of introductory paragraph, which is a historical introduction. All right. With the exception of Native Americans, the United States is a country of immigrants. Each new group of immigrants arrived bringing their hopes, their dreams, and their work ethics, and they all had to start at the bottom. One by one, the immigrants groups such as Irish, Italians, Chinese, Arabs struggled for acceptance and respect. Each group faced enormous obstacles from discrimination. In the end, however, each succeeded and now makes up an important part of this country. The thesis will be, as immigrants' experiences have shown, success depends more on hard work than on innate ability. Very good. Now it is your turn. I'm gonna say an introduction and I want you to answer which type of introductory paragraph is this. Okay, let's start. Throughout my childhood, I was always in trouble at school. The teacher said I was an unachiever and lazy. I had a hard time learning to read. When I was 14 years old, my parents finally realized what was wrong. I am dyslexic. They got me the extra help I needed, and now I am the owner of a chain of grocery stores. I have a loving family and 2 children, and I was recently elected mayor of our town. In my opinion, success depends more on hard work than on innate ability. So what do you think? Is this general to specific, or an anecdote introduction, or a historical one? So please comment your answer in the comments below and discuss it with your classmates. Thank you for watching.